Hello, dear students. Welcome back to your science classes. How are you all? I hope you all are healthy and doing well. So, students, I'm your science educator again here with a new chapter. And today we have chapter number 11, which is about air and its uses. So, we already know that the sound in our surroundings, what we have air. We cannot see it. So, it doesn't mean we don't have air. What you have to do to observe, to feel air, you just have to take your hand and you have to move in a speedy so you can observe the air in your surrounding. And now further we are going to discuss what are the uses we have of the air. So air, what are the learning objectives today we have? First, air occupies space, air has mass, air exerts pressure, uses of air, uses of gases in the air, and other uses of air. So let's get started. Air is a mixture of gases that surrounds the earth. So air, it's a mixture of gas. In air we have a lot of kind of gases, or it is often called the atmosphere. So when we have air and the mixture of gases in this, so we called it atmosphere. When the wind blows, it is the air that we feel against our face. So you also face wind against your face, that is your air. Wind is moving air. So what is wind? Wind is moving air. Okay, air right now in my surrounding air is present, but it is not moving, right? That is why I have to move my hand to feel it. But for wind, you don't have to move your hand, you can feel it. Okay, so without air, the earth would be just a lifeless, rocky, cratered world similar to the moon. All living things need air to stay alive, because all of us, all living things, what they need oxygen to live. Okay, so people have lived more than a month without food and more than a week without water. But a person can live only few minutes without air. So it means air plays a very important role for living organisms. Air is everywhere. There is no place on land without air. It took mankind thousands of years to show the air existed. Air is matter. We define matter as something which occupies space. So we cannot see air, so all of this people in our ancient times, what they conclude, that their air does not occupy any space, and that is why it's not a matter. But after some time the scientists realized that, oh, air is a matter and air occupies some space and has mass as well. So in order to prove that air is matter, we need to prove that air occupies space and mass. So let's get started. Air occupies space. Get a balloon, inflate the balloon with air. The balloon gets larger as you put air into it. The only way that could make it get larger is if it occupied space. So half of our proof is complete. It means when we have this is your deflated balloon and this is inflated. So what happened when we put air inside the balloon, it's changed its shape. It means it occupied some space as well as it has some mass. So it is proved here. Now air has mass. Get two balloons of the same size, fill them with equal volume of air, tie the balloon. Now take a meter stick. Take some string and tie one end of the middle of the meter. So what you have to do, you have to do like this. You have to make a balance of this. After this, just make certain that the meter stick is free to move around. Now tie both the balloons to the meter stick, one at each end of the meter stick. Balance the meter stick by repositioning the balloons. If necessary, the stick is in horizontal position. Take a needle and poke a hole in the center of one of the balloons. The air goes out and the stick with the punctured balloon goes up. This shows that the balloon which has air in its more mass. So what we do, first we need a meter, then we need a thread, and we need two balloons. You just have to blow your balloons and connect them to your meter in that way. After some time, after that, what you have to do, you have to take a nail and you have to make a hole in one of the balloon you have. So what we observe that as the gas get outside of this balloon and it will become deflated, so this meter is shifted to the next balloon which is inflated. It means we conclude that that air has mass. Now air exerts pressure. So how can we conclude that air exerts pressure? Let's learn it. Let's read about this. A substance matter that has mass exerts pressure. Place one or two books upon your palm. You will feel the pressure exerted by the books upon your palm. Air has mass, so it will also exert pressure. So how can you exert pressure? while you weigh something, right? So air exerts upward pressure. Get a glass tumbler, fill it with water up to brim, cover the tumbler with a cardboard, invert the glass tumbler holding the cardboard in position with one hand and the tumbler with the outer hand. So what you have to do, you have to take your glass with the water and you have to cover it with the any cardboard, and you just have to shift it your glass like this and take your next other hand in that position. What happens, the cardboard does not fall down. It is because the air from below is exerting pressure and this pressure is supporting the cardboard. So what will you observe, that this cardboard will not fall down. It means this glass, this air occupied some space into this. So now air exerts downward pressure. Get a straw, fill the straw half with water, drop a small cork on the water, with cork will float on the water. So now invert a glass with tumbler on the floating cork, push the tumbler on the floating cork. What do you observe? The air in the glass tumbler exerts pressure and pushes down the cork. This shows that the air exerts downward pressure. So what we conclude that it exerts the pressure downward. There is one advice from my side. You can conclude it in a very good way and you can examine it by doing these things practically. This is very simple experiments which we have to perform. You have equipments in your home, you just have to follow these steps, and after this you can conclude that the things we are going to happen, the things we are learning in this chapter, they are real and it is practical. Because in science, how many things we get understand with the help of practicality, so it will help us to memorize for a long period of time. Now air exits sideward pressure. So we see upward, downward, now it's sideward. Get a can made of thin metal sheet, heat the can to push out air inside the tin. Now close the mouth of the can tightly like this with the lid. Allow the can to cool. What do you observe? The air pressure on the side of the can makes it twisted. This shows that air exits sideway pressure. So what we observe is that this is provide you sideway. You can also observe it by you have an empty bottle. If you press it and just close the lid of it, so what will happen? The side of the bottles are just tilted. It means this provides you a side word pressure as well. Now we have uses of air. What are the uses of air? We have air has many uses because it occupies space, has mass, exerts pressure, and contains many useful gases. Air is used to inflate things, balloons, air mattress, air pillows, football and basketball bladders. The tubes in the wheels of cars, bicycles, aeroplanes, etc. can be inflated with air. If we have a deflected wheel in a vehicle, so it cannot help us to move from one place to another place, so we need air to fill up. Next, the pressure of air in the tubes within the tires of vehicles prevents our feeling the bumps on the road and helps vehicles to run smoothly. Air mattress and pillow are useless without air in them. When the air is blown into them, they swell up and more comfortable to use. Due to the pressure of air in the football and basketball, they get hard, so they bounce. Because if we imagine these things without air, so there is no use for it. They are no use for these things. Okay. Now we have air pressure can move liquids. Medicine droppers, fountain pens, syringes, drinking straws, and the common lift pumps work because of air pressure. Take a medicine dropper, put the tip of the dropper into water or liquid medicine. Press the rubber bulb. You can see the air bubbles coming out through the liquid. Some air comes out from the dropper. The pressure of air within the dropper is now less than the outside air pressure on the surface of the liquid. So the liquid rises into the dropper. So what you observe here, when you pour water and you drop it out, so you observe small particles in it. It means that air it exits in this pen. Now we have fountain pen ink fill works with the help of air pressure. The pump inside the pen drives the air out from the barrel. The pressure of outside air pushes the ink into the pen. So with the pressure of air we are able to write something. Okay, that is why we can write something. Now air pressure makes a syringe used by doctors for injection work. The handle of the piston is pulled out, creating empty space in the barrel. The pressure of air in the surface of the liquid medicine makes it possible to get into the empty space in the instrument. So you always observe it whenever your doctor is inject you. So what they will happen, they pour some amount of medicine outside, because in that medicine the air is included. So we have to remove that air first, and then we have to inject the medicine into the patient body. Now air pressure helps in sipping soft drinks, milk, etc. from the bottle through a straw. One end of the straw is kept in the drink and is sucked through the other end. Owing to this, air pressure inside the straw becomes less than the pressure of outside. So because of this pressure, the drink moves up into our mouth through the straw. So the common lift pump. So I hope so, students. Now you are going to point of view that how this air help us in such a way. So we cannot imagine our life without air, just because of we need an oxygen for breathing. But rather than breathing, air is plays a very important role in a lot of things. So these are the things which we have. Now we have the lift pump, consists of a cylinder called barrel. Airtight piston is fitted in the barrel. So this is your piston. Here we just put it the piston here. This piston, the piston can move smoothly in the barrel. The lower end of the barrel is connected to a long narrow tube called the suction. This is your suction, which is connected to this piston through the barrel. Now, two valves which open in the upward direction are fitted, one in the piston and the other at the junction of the barrel and the suction tube. At the top of the barrel, there is a spout. A handle is attached to the piston rod. The piston can be moved up and down with the help of the handle. And this is the common thing. I hope so. All of you, you visit your villages and you often see this kind of pump. We have to take water outside in underground water to take underground water outside. So working of the common lift pump is, when the piston is moved up, the pressure of air in the pump inside the barrel and the narrow tube connected to it becomes reduced. As we take up, so the pressure in air pressure inside the tube, it's become low. After the valve at the bottom of the barrel opens and lets water rush above this valve into the barrel, it's attracting, it's pulling the water upward. During the downward of movement of piston, the barrel valve closes, the piston valve opens, water rushes to the space in the barrel above the piston. Now the piston is moved up. Water above the piston is raised and flows out through the spout. So what we do, first we downward to reduce the pressure. After this, when we reduce the air pressure, the water comes out, the water comes upward. And after, when we take down it, so what will happen, the water comes outside of this well we have. Okay, so siphon. Next we have siphon. A siphon is a tube bent twice at right angles. It is used to transfer liquid from a big container to a glass bottle. So it is a kind of a object we use to put a big water from big bottle to a glass bottle. So siphon works on air pressure. One end of the tube is dipped in the dip. So what will you say, one of the end is dipped into the big container and liquid, and the other will dip into the glass bottle. Air is sucked out from the long arm. The pressure of air inside the tube becomes reduced. For taking water outside from a big glass, what you have to do, you just have to reduce the air pressure. If we reduce the air pressure, anything we have to suck, we have to take outside of it, the water is come. So the liquid is pushed by the short arm and starts flowing down the long arm. This flows will continue till the level of water in the two containers is the same. Next, we have uses of gases of the air. So we have a mixture of gases in air. So how we use those gases? Let's understand this. The main gases present in the air are oxygen, nitrogen, and carbon dioxide. We have three main gases present in air: oxygen, nitrogen, and carbon dioxide. Air also contains water vapor and rare gases with many impurities. It has rare water vapors as well as rare gases and many impurities also present in the air. So the amount of oxygen present in air is 21%. Oxygen is the active complement of air. All living beings need oxygen to respire. No life can exist without oxygen. So what is the amount of oxygen present in air? Is 21%, and it plays a vital role. As we go to high altitudes, the density of air decreases and it becomes difficult to live there. That is why the mountains carry oxygen cylinder with them while climbing mountains, because on the mountain areas we have less amount of oxygen. Oxygen air is necessary for burning. We burn fuels for producing fire. No object or fuel can burn without air. For a continuous burning process, there should be a supply of air without interpretation. Next, we have nitrogen. We have 78% of nitrogen present in the air. Nitrogen is that part of the air which does not support burning. It is the inactive part of the air, but it is useful for the growth of plants. It is used to prepare fertilizers. Nitrogen in the air serves to dilute highly active gas oxygen. So it is not that much important as compared to oxygen, but it also plays a very important role for growth of plants, and it is used as a and it is also used to prepare fertilizers as well. Next, we have carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is present in the air in a very small amount, which is 0.03%, but it is needed for photosynthesis. The process of making food by green plants in the presence of sunlight use the carbon dioxide of the air and water from the soil to make the starch. During this process, oxygen is given out. So what we understood here, that oxygen is not that much important, and it is present in a very small quantity, which is 0.03%. But plants need carbon dioxide to make their food. And if plants do not make their food, what will happen? We don't have oxygen, because while they take carbon dioxide inside them, so they breathe out the oxygen. So if we need oxygen in good amount, so we need carbon dioxide as well for the plants. Next, we have water vapors. So water vapor present in the air is the source of clouds, rain, snow, and dew and hail. And rare gases we have argon, krypton are used for filling electric bulbs. Helium is used for filling balloons. Neon is used for preparing brightly colored and advertising lights. Next, we have other uses of air. Air is used for drying clothes and agriculture products such as food grains. Air is used separating the grain from the husk. So what you see, when we have husk, so we have to move like this. So with the help of air, the grain and husk it's separating from each other. Next, air is enables aeroplanes, helicopter, birds and insects. Air is helpful for the movement of boats, gliders, parachutes, balloons and kites. We need air to hear most of the sounds we hear travel through the air. Windmills work when the wind blows, right? Windmill only works when we have wind blows. So windmills are used for drawing water from tube wells, for running flow mills, and for the production of electricity. It means we see that the air which we cannot see, it plays a lot, it plays a very important and vital role in our life to work it properly. I hope so, students, you like this chapter and understood it very well. Now I'm going to meet you in your next class. Till that, bye bye. Have a good day.